Grand Rising, heathens. Grand Rising on this good Sunday. About to take this quick walk. The upland and shit. We got a guest with us too, y'all. But they ain't gonna say nothing. They just walking with us. You know what I mean? They like the work I do. You know what I mean? Calm-headed. Not loud. You know what I mean? They know their role. You know what I mean? They ain't very disrespectful, and that shit don't do nothing but make silence, create silence. Think a motherfucker gonna get mad. Let me tell y'all something, right? A person to do anything that wasn't really mature, they'd do anything to expose themselves, because they not doing anything to get a person that's chosen mad. We sit back and laugh like, look, their whole fucking costume is pulling off. You heard? So nah, I don't get mad at shit like that, man. You know what I mean? I don't get even. Silence is the key. Walk away from the situation and don't look back. You understand me? And don't look back. That's it. Give a damn about none of that shit. Motherfucker can't do what I ain't already did to it. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean. Facts. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all, people are so wicked and evil that they'll do anything to disrespect themselves. Not the person they think they disrespecting. They disrespecting themselves at that point. You know what I mean? Like I said, y'all, we on this journey from the Most High, and when that chapter is shut, that shit shut. I don't have no remorse or none of that shit. For real. Like I said in the beginning, it'd be peaches and cream. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you trying to awaken a person that don't want to be awoken, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you fighting a one-arm battle. One arm tied behind your back. You know what I'm saying? That person gonna always be looking for excuses and shit. They don't wanna own up to their mistakes and shit like that. Fuck that. Don't even waste your time, man. It's not even worth it. Don't even give them your energy. Like I said, don't give them your energy, y'all. They ain't gonna do nothing but them expose themselves, and the universe gonna allow them to do that. You know what I mean? Facts. They gonna spiral out of control. You know what I'm saying? They already don't got nothing going on for themselves. You know what I mean? The weekend over, right? The weekend over now. So what's the next resort? You know what I mean? The party and bullshitting is over. The weekend is over. It's Sunday. You know what I mean? Now what you want to do? You want to play the sorry game, or you try to get back into your comfort zone by trying to use a person, but the person you think you're going to use is long gone. God damn it, ain't that right? Ain't that right, baby? You know what I'm saying? For real. That's a fact. But we gonna get into this message, y'all, while we walk up here upland. I got a guest with me today. She a little quiet. You can say something if you want. You know what I'm saying? I got your back. And that's another thing. When I had your back, I had your back. You understand me? But that shit gone. Long gone. You out here on your own at this point. And that's a 100% fact. I don't give a damn about none of that shit you got going on. You're not gonna get me jealous. You can't do none of that. God damn it. My skin is alligator skin, god damn it. And if you don't know what alligator skin is, god damn it, you soon to find out that I don't give a damn about you embarrassing yourself. You understand me? You embarrassing yourself. Because that's all it is. at the end of the day. You ain't hurting me. Shit. You can be loud. You can be obnoxious. You can do all that shit. That shit is not affecting me in my everyday life. You feel me? It's not. The things I seen in the person, like I said, you don't know a person until you really study that person, you know what I mean? And when you study a motherfucker and find out that them motherfuckers ain't, you know what I mean? Don't even live up to the status that they should be even with you. They not even on your rankings. You feel me? They ain't even on your ranks. But you know, some of us, like I said, I was sent on a mission. I was sent on a mission, man. But that mission is over, y'all. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, y'all just don't understand, man. Like, when you pouring your all into a person and that person is blind to the facts and they realize they blind to the facts is when you going. And everything that you said, all that shit out the door. All that shit out the window. How many chances can you give a person, y'all? You know what I'm saying? How many chances can you give a person that don't even want to help themselves, though, y'all? They look for excuses, y'all. They look for excuses to defend their bullshit. And when you realize you in that little small box, only thing you got to do is stand up and walk away. That's it. That's it. No arguments. None of that shit. Just walk away from the situation. Facts. And let that person continue on spiraling out of control. Disrespecting themselves. Have no respect for themselves. You know what I mean? Got nothing to do with me. Ain't got nothing to do with me. And that's a 100% fact. Yeah. So I just watched a person spiral out of control yesterday. You know what I mean? Think they gonna hurt a king feelings, right? By disrespecting themselves, though, y'all. When a person disrespect themselves, they had no respect for no one. You understand what I'm saying? They had no respect for no one. Because they only thinking about themselves, y'all. Give a damn about you. Like I said, it's no relationship loss. God damn it, because we wasn't never in no relationship. Fucker, I'm here to help. Pull you out of that darkness. But you want to stay in the darkness. You want to live in that Jezebel spirit. I'm gone. I'm gone. Just like I'm doing this video walking. That's just what I did, y'all. I kept it moving. They can say, they can do whatever they want to try to hurt a nigga feelings or hurt a person pride. You can't hurt my pride. And you can't hurt, most definitely can't hurt my feelings. Because like I said in another video, you don't have nothing to offer. You don't have nothing to offer but drama. Living in your Jezebel little box world. Your delusional mind. Straight delusional mind. And that's a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, you got a lot of people that's delusional like a motherfucker out here, y'all. They trying to cover their actions with some rhetoric, nonsense. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Fuck all that. And like I said, you don't know a person until you live with them. You see the triflingness in them. You see all that shit. You know what I mean? As a man, and I wouldn't come up here to expose a person that's trifling, but just know, I know you're a trifling motherfucker that a man wouldn't even want to be around, goddammit. You might be around for pleasure, but as far as a relationship, and you being number one, and nah, that wouldn't work. That would never work. Y'all living two different lifestyles. You know what I mean? One in the light, one in the dark. That shit ain't gonna work. That shit ain't gonna work by far, you heard? So, it's no lost love on my end. You know what I mean? Because I was there as a soldier, as a protector, as to enlighten you and lift you up out of that darkness. But you took it for weakness. You took it all for weakness. So guess what? The time is up. God damn it, we got to move on at this point. We got to move on at this point. I try to put the light of the Most High in you. You don't want that. You want to stay in that darkness. You want to constantly chase that dream. You want to play the blame game. You know what I mean? You want to play the blame game. That's all you want to do. You don't want to stand up to your foolishness. You want to betray the foolishness and put it on everybody else. Fuck out of here, man. And like I said, stay in your little delusional mind and in your little small box. God damn it. Because your cycle ain't going to do nothing but keep repeating itself. God damn it. And that's a 100% fact. Your little delusional mind and your little box you live in, you going to constantly stay there. God damn it. And that's a fact. And not only that, see, a lot of people out here in the world, they like to judge people by their appearance and the things they do. So when people see you, they judging you. They judging you by your appearance and by your actions. You understand what I'm saying? The city ain't but so big, so when people see you, you know what I mean, in the streets, you live in that dark life, people have receipts on that shit. You understand what I'm saying? People have receipts on that shit. And that's a 100% fact. The streets don't lie, God damn it. People do. You know what I'm saying? Streets don't lie, people do. But people got receipts on your lifestyle. So for you to try to change your lifestyle around, and a person come in your life, to try to change your life for a better life, and you don't acknowledge it and you don't see it, oh man, the consequences is pretty much, it's a wrap. Pretty much a wrap at that point. And that's a fact. Damn, black squirrel. That was a black squirrel, y'all. But yeah, people come out and try to, you know what I mean? But like I said, y'all, the chapter's shut, y'all. We moving right along, goddammit. Continue on staying in that fast lifestyle. Ain't nothing but death behind that shit. There ain't nothing but death behind that. And I don't wish death on no one, but the lifestyle you live, that's all I see in the future for you is death. Goddammit. And that's a 100% fact, and I ain't being mean. I'm being real. All right? Oh, he talking like that. He talking harsh. This, that, and the third. Nah, I ain't talking harsh. I'm talking real facts. When you see a person spiraling out of control, y'all, and don't want help, what's next? Death. You know what I mean? Death. Shit. I ain't here to put a curse or nothing like that on you. But the universe speaks for itself. And the universe always have receipts for foolishness. Especially a person that's going against the Most High word that was sent to help you. Had nothing but love open their arms to you. And this how you repay them? Call yourself being disrespectful. That shit ain't do nothing. That ain't do nothing at all. Now, and any other nigga maybe would have jumped out the window behind some foolishness like that because they don't have nothing to lose. See, when you're a man and you stand on the most high shoulders, you can't be getting caught out here in Charlotte's Web. God damn it. You can't be getting caught up here in Charlotte's Web. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. That's a 100% fact. It's impossible for a person of the most high, a chosen one, to get caught up in Charlotte's Web. God damn it. We see the play before it's even executed. And what we do, we move on, y'all, in silence. For real. No arguments, no anger. Just walk away in silence. You feel me? Disappear. Evaporate from that person. You know what I mean? And then you'll know when that person had an agenda, because now they coming around and they doing very disrespectful things, trying to get you off your square, off your character. You see what I'm saying? Because of the lifestyle they live. You know what I mean? That's a fact. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. The person that I'm talking to about, they watch these videos, so they know exactly what I'm talking about. And for the crowd, which way should I go? This way or this way? Go up here. And for the crowd that's sitting observing, that really don't know both sides of the stories, y'all should just stay neutral. You know? Just stay neutral. There's always two sides of a story. You can't listen to one side of a story and let a person brainwash you and thinking that person is the worstest person in the world, when in reality they not. You don't even know that person. You only know that person through a third party. You had no clue of that person, their identity, or nothing. You only knew that person through a third party. So like I said, I don't ever get into people business and drama. Whatever they got going on, they'll figure it out. For me to put my 2 cents in and I don't even know that person, but if a person keep talking to you down in the person, you'll start believing that motherfucker. Like, damn, I can't stand that motherfucker. You know what I mean? And you never met that person. Why? Because you listening to a third party bring their sorrow and drama to you, and what you supposed to do, listen, so you can take it all in and then use it for leverage. You're gonna be on that person's side for a minute so they can give you all the gossip. Then eventually you're gonna use that same method. You're gonna use that same method for leverage against that person. You understand what I'm saying? That goes back to shut the fuck up and stop telling people y'all business. Okay? That's where that go at. But like I said, man, I could tell y'all some shit, but I'm not gonna even speak about it because it's the last thing on my mind. And they think I'm gonna speak about it, and I'm not, because that shit don't hurt me. It puts a smear on your name, not mine. God damn it, you was never a representative of me. Never, ever in life was you a representative of me out here in these streets. Never. How could you have a person that you trying to help, you trying to save? You understand me? Be a representative of you out here in the streets and you know they already in a fast life. Nah, you not my representative. I'm just here to help you, okay? Don't get it fucked up for 1 minute. Don't get it twisted for 1 motherfucking minute. But I see you don't want help. You don't want nothing. You don't want nothing at all. You want to continue on doing what you want to do, spiraling out of control, and it's all about you. It's all about you. And you never hold yourself accountable of your bullshit. Fuck that. You go on and play with them other little ass boys. Because that's who it seems like you've been playing with all this time. A whole bunch of little ass boys and shit. I'm a grown ass man. You ain't gonna run that shit on me. God damn it, I don't give a damn about none of that shit. And like I said, what you doing is what you doing smearing your own name. God damn it. You running a smear campaign on your own goddamn campaign, god damn it, which is yourself. God damn it. We all out in this world and we hold ourselves accountable for our own actions. God damn it. Fuck out of here. I'm worrying about your act. Fuck your actions. I don't give a damn because that's your lifestyle at this point. Like a person with a, like, literally open my arms, open my doors, because we on a mission at that point. But that person got too comfortable, thinking they can get away, keep getting away with the same old bullshit game, right? Until we stood up and flipped the whole goddamn table over and said enough is enough. You don't want the help? Cool, we out. Ain't that right, sugar? Fine ass up. I mean, real shit, y'all. Always accusing a motherfucker. You gonna keep accusing a motherfucker until they go out and do what you want. With a dime piece. God damn it. A dime piece in the thick motherfucker. Alright? Don't get it twisted for one motherfucking minute. I can basically show you, then I can tell you. God damn it. Fuck you think you playing with? You playing with them little small brain ass niggas you already had that you was dealing with before you met a motherfucking real king that's not going for your rhetoric. And you couldn't understand how a motherfucker stood up and flipped the whole goddamn table over just like that. And don't give a damn about what nobody got to say. Because motherfuckers don't know me. They only know me through you, a third party. God damn it. Nigga, I give a damn about their opinion. God damn it, that's all it is their opinion. About what you saying from your rhetoric. Without getting both sides of the story. As they would say, clarification. God damn it. Niggas love to listen to gossip. You know what I mean? Like I see a person and I'm like, yo, why females do this, that, and the third? And then people quick to slander people. Oh, ew. I heard that person had this. I heard this person had that. And you like, yo, stop listening to that shit. If you don't got facts on paper, stop accusing people. Stop putting narratives and titles on people that you don't have no facts on. So I'm here defending a person I was trying to help, y'all. Of their lifestyle, because people see them. People like, yo, other females. You know, females, they'll rip you a new one. You know what I mean? But sometimes they don't have the facts and shit. And I got the facts with me. So I had to defend this person. I had to step up and defend this person. Because they were slandering the shit out of this motherfucker. You know what I mean? The same person I was trying to help, y'all. They were slandering that motherfucker like, oh, that motherfucker there, they crazy. They got this, they got that. They always, I'm like, yo, do you got proof of what you saying? Nah, but that's what they saying though. I said, stop right there. Because we was working like a motherfucker, y'all. And she like, I said, look, that person don't have what the rest of the critics are saying. I said, and it's a fact on my end, because I took that person to the health department, to the clinic, to get checked out before we even got involved. You understand what I'm saying, people? That's how we was working. Like I said, y'all not dealing with the average over here. A little small brain ass nigga that's only out for one thing. Nah. You dealing with a mastermind, God damn it. So like I said, we coming out the store and I'm like, yo, stop right there. Stop what you saying and look. I produce paperwork on this person I was trying to help, right? I produced paperwork on this person. You know what I mean? So that person will say, oh, okay. Well, they was lies what people were saying about them. You know what I mean? That they got this and got that and the third. And don't you know, man, I show the people the receipts of this person clean as the Board of Health. I got the paperwork on. I got copies of that shit in my phone. I got the results, ladies and gentlemen, of her blood work. So when people slander people, especially in the African American community, they known to do that shit with no facts because they see you in the lifestyle you live and they assume, you know what I mean? That you run around this motherfucker with that bug. And y'all know what I'm getting at. But I got the facts. And I ain't gonna put the person out there like that, y'all. Like I said, I don't drop names and all that shit. Pretty much you can put 2 and 2 together is 4, right? Especially if you watch me and you see me in these videos and you've been noticing the person around me. That's the person we talking about. But nah, that person clean as the Board of Health. I got the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? And I shows it to the person who's sitting there in denial about this person, still trying to slander this person. And I'm like, you know what? To myself, I said, but you need to check yourself. Because you run around here saying this and that, and the third about that person. And I got the prank call, right, y'all? I got the prank call app. And it's a doctor on that motherfucker, right? That say, oh, a person came to the clinic, this, that, and the third. And I got the girl that's claiming that the other female walking around with the bug. I got her on the app, the doctor app, bro. Talking to the doctor. The doctor said, you got chlamydia or some shit like that. You need to go get checked out. She said, all right. I can play it back for y'all because I recorded it and I was sending it to my cuz yesterday. Because I said, cuz, the shit people say out their mouth and they don't even realize they the one in the trick bag, right? And I ain't gonna put that girl name out here because she basically do the same shit. You know what I mean? These females that's getting a check and they spend their money in that first goddamn week and they broke that following week. They do what they gotta do until that next month come around. So for her to say, slander that girl like that and didn't even have no facts, and I produced the facts and showed her, paperwork don't lie, y'all. Motherfuckers do. You understand me? Paperwork don't lie, and motherfuckers do. But I'm gonna play it for y'all. Of this girl that slandered this other girl on this app, this prank app I had, right? She got the audacity. Real quick, y'all. She got some audacity to talk about this girl because she see her lifestyle. That's why I said your lifestyle sometimes people assume and really don't know. They just going by your lifestyle and how they see you all the time. But hold on, y'all. Listen to the girl. I want y'all to listen to the girl that was saying the person I was trying to help had that bug. And I produced the paperwork and she still ain't believe it. Listen to this one, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Got the receipt. I told my cousin I'm gonna call you right back. There we go. We booted back up. All right, y'all. We booted back up. Let's listen to the girl that was slandering the other girl that I was trying to help. That she had the bug. I showed her the receipts and the paperwork on that girl I was helping. That she was clean as the board of health because I took her over there to get checked out. But let's listen to the girl that had a whole lot to say from this prank app.
It was 8:03, October the 20th, 2022.
Y'all getting that, right? Listen, I might slip the name.
Called Pauline Thornton.
There it is.
To inform her about the STD. Let's go.
Listen, y'all. Y'all got the name, right? I ain't put the person I was helping out, but the person that started to slander that person. Listen. Receipts. Dates, times don't lie, like history.
Yes, hello. This is Dr. Jefferson with the Downtown Clinic. The reason I'm calling is because we had a patient come in a few days ago that requested to be tested for any sexual transmitted diseases, and the test results came back positive for chlamydia. It's standard practice for us to obtain a list of past sexual partners who've been in contact with the patient at the time of infection to inform them that they may be possibly infected with the same sexually transmitted disease. We cannot disclose who the patient was. However, we do urge you to go to a local clinic to get tested as soon as possible.
Okay.
Now y'all see, y'all heard that, goddammit. Now you see, y'all heard that. Proof. Now that's coming from a person that's trying to slander another person about them having that bug. And we just heard the facts that she wasn't too secure about her status. And see, I didn't even play this. She won't hear this video because she's not subbed to my channel. But I just wanted to produce a receipt to show y'all that I keep receipts. And then again, hold on, goddammit. I'm gonna show y'all some other shit on the paperwork on that person. All right, that's what we doing, y'all. That's what we do over here. Now, I ain't even tell that person that I had defended them yesterday. Why? Because I'm not trying to, hold on, y'all. I'm not trying to extend their vacation, goddammit. Fuck that. But let me show y'all. So we got her talking to the doctor. So this is paperwork on a person that had an HIV. If y'all can see that. HIV test, y'all see that? All right, let me scroll over so y'all say, oh, that's somebody else. HIV. Right? What that say? Non-reaction, right? Y'all see that clear as day, goddammit. So when I'm showing her the paperwork, she still don't believe this shit. Ain't go more paperwork to show y'all that they did the uterus too, right? The urine. Let's get over here. Negative, right? Let's come on, y'all. I keep receipts. It's the vaginal right here, the vagina. That they swabbed the vagina. Right, vaginal. What that say? All negative, right? All negative. But that person that had no facts on that person ran with a narrative, right? Ran with a narrative like a motherfucker. That's why I say, y'all, stop running y'all motherfucking lips and y'all don't got no facts, man. Even when the person saying you doing this and you doing that, yo, stop that shit. Because the person is out here defending you, helping you. got his armor and sword on, out this bitch, slaughtering motherfuckers for you. Because they tried to help you. And they had the facts and the proof, so if somebody came with the wicked lies, you can debunk it with facts and truth. You can debunk that shit with facts and truth. I was only here to help you. I wasn't here to tear you down. Damn it, why would I tear a person down that you trying to help? Come on, it don't make sense. You know what I mean? But like I said, y'all, we moving on, y'all. It's all, I just wanted to share that story with y'all to show you how much we was out here trying to help this person and defend this person. And this person ain't do nothing but slander me, threw me under the bus, very disrespectful. Like, oh man, the things I can tell y'all, man. That's why I said there's always two sides to the story, y'all. Stop listening to one side of the story and holding that person and not holding that person that's telling you accountable of their bullshit. Don't do that, y'all. Cause y'all don't do nothing but make an ass out of yourself. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel with it. You know what I mean? So y'all can go ahead and birds of a feather flock together shit. Y'all can do that. Just keep me out of y'all foolishness if y'all don't want to hear the other side of the story. You know what I mean? A person always playing the blame game, saying you doing this, saying you doing that, and you was here to help this person, like literally pull them up by their bootstraps and get them out of the condition they in. You know what I'm saying? Why would I bring you down and shit? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing nothing but trying to lift you up out of that darkness. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't want that. You ain't want the light. You ain't want to come to the light. God damn it, you want to stay in the darkness. Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all, we gonna skip to my little, I just left out. My man crazy as a motherfucker after that crazy. Nah, man, he even say the same thing. Stay away from them fast ass guys. I said, shit, I already know. We gotta tell the youngsters that shit. But anyway, like I said, y'all, I was out here defending that person, cause you know what I mean? At that point, they standing on the shoulders of the Most High with me, you know what I mean? So you gotta defend. You going, oh, what the fuck you talking about? But I wanted to play that back. But look, y'all, I was only here to help that person. They ain't want the help. We gotta move on, y'all. You know what I mean? And I ain't looking to say no more motherfucking lives either, y'all. I ain't looking to say no more motherfucking lives, y'all. I'ma stay in my lane and mind my business, and I think I'ma take this lesson that I learned within the last 4 months, that more experience I can share with people about other people, because I got the knowledge and the experience on it. Woo! Like, for real, that person was a burden on my hand, man. They ain't want to get the help. Hey, I gotta move, man. But I got a message. Look like it's starting to rain too, y'all. I got a message here, y'all. We gonna listen to. Alright.
You were ordinary. They thought you were replaced. They thought you were ordinary. They thought you were ordinary. They thought you were replaceable. But now the silence you left is louder than any word you ever spoke. Have you ever given your heart, your time, your prayers, only to be treated like you were invisible? As if your kindness was just expected? Like your presence had no weight? But here's the truth. You were never just there. You were sent. A divine placement. An assignment from heaven itself. They didn't see it. They didn't feel it. Until you left. Until your absence turned the light off. And now, they're stumbling in the dark, realizing that what they lost was not a person. It was a divine connection. This message is not for the crowd. It's for the few. The ones who were a blessing in secret, but rejected in public. You didn't need a platform to change the atmosphere. Your spirit did the work. Your prayers built the walls of protection they didn't even know existed. And yet, they treated you as disposable. But something shifted. The air got heavier. The peace disappeared. And now, they are forced to confront the one truth they never wanted to admit. The chosen one is gone. And with that absence comes a spiritual drought. Because when you walk away, heaven's covering walks with you. You didn't lose. You didn't fail.
Facts.
You were removed by divine order.
Right.
Protected, shielded, repositioned. And those who mistreated you, they're now learning the hard way that not every blessing is replaceable. Chosen one, if you feel this in your spirit right now, I want you to declare it in the comments. Drop a 99, because the 99 left behind will never feel complete without the one that heaven chose.
Right.
And if you haven't done it yet, hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure this message reaches every chosen one who's been misunderstood, mistreated, and is now being elevated. Because what's coming next is a shift they never saw coming. Are you ready for it? They were waiting for something loud, something spectacular. A hero who would announce their arrival with power, titles, and recognition. But God doesn't operate like that. When heaven wants to shift an atmosphere, he doesn't send a celebrity, he sends a servant. And that servant was you.
Listen, y'all.
You didn't enter their lives with grand speeches. You didn't force your wisdom onto anyone. You simply showed up, heart open, spirit aligned,
Arms open.
ready to give without expecting anything in return.
Facts.
But they couldn't recognize what was standing right in front of them.
Well, they could.
Why? Because the world is blind to quiet greatness. They only see what sparkles on the outside. But heaven wraps its greatest treasures in simplicity. While they were busy chasing noise, you were building peace. While they were looking for leaders on stages, you were leading through your actions, your patience, your quiet prayers in the background. You carried a light they were too distracted to see. And yet, that light was sustaining them. Every conversation you listened to, every moment you chose compassion over ego, every situation where you decided to stay calm while others lost control. Those were spiritual acts of warfare they never perceived.
Facts.
You were a barrier between chaos and peace, but they mistook your calm for weakness.
Facts.
They thought you were just being nice.
Right.
But you were interceding. They thought you were too sensitive, but you were discerning. They thought you were passive, but you were carrying battles in silence that they would have never survived.
Right.
Because God designed you to be a quiet storm,
That's it.
soft in appearance, unstoppable in purpose.
Facts.
They wanted a warrior with a sword, but God sent them a peacemaker with a shield.
Facts.
And because you didn't come wrapped in applause, they overlooked you. But you see, chosen one, invisibility is part of the mission. God often hides his most powerful vessels in plain sight,
Facts.
only revealing their true weight when they are removed. You weren't there to impress them. You were there to transform the atmosphere, even if they never noticed. But now that you're gone, everything feels different. The peace has lifted. The light has dimmed. The stability they took for granted is crumbling. And only now are they starting to understand that your presence was never ordinary. It was strategic. It was divine. Because the way God uses his chosen is never how people expect. He hides diamonds in the dust. He places pillars inside people they think are disposable. You were a pillar, holding up structures they never knew were fragile. But you didn't scream for recognition. You simply stood firm in the shadows, doing the work heaven assigned you. And now that your post is empty, the cracks are showing, the foundation is shaking, and the silence you left behind is shouting the truth louder than your words ever did. But here's the twist they didn't see coming. Your absence was not your end. It was your unveiling. Because what they discarded as common is about to be revealed as the very thing they couldn't survive without. Chosen one, stay with me. Because in the next moment, you'll understand why the void you left is not just emotional, it's spiritual. And the weight of that truth is about to change everything. While you were there, it all seemed effortless. The atmosphere felt light. The relationships flowed. Opportunities opened. But none of them understood why. They thought it was coincidence. They thought life was just in a good season. But what they never saw was the hidden force holding everything steady. It was you. Your presence. Your spiritual alignment. You were the anchor beneath the surface, keeping everything from drifting into chaos. You weren't loud about it. You didn't advertise your prayers, but while they laughed, you interceded. While they complained, you covered. While they sought validation, you sought heaven's favor on their behalf. You were the invisible stabilizer, the quiet shield that absorbed the storms they didn't even know were coming. But now that you're no longer there to soften the blow, the impact is direct. The arguments they used to shake off now linger. The conflicts that once resolved themselves now escalate. The peace that used to just be there has evaporated. Because the truth is, you weren't just present. You were maintaining spiritual order, and they never noticed until you left. Suddenly the air feels heavier. Simple conversations turn into tension-filled silences. The flow they once relied on has turned into friction. It's not that the world changed, it's that the covering was removed. You see, when God places a chosen one in a space, they become an atmosphere carrier. You don't just walk into a room, you shift it. Your presence brings divine alignment. But when dishonor enters, heaven withdraws what it once allowed to stay. And that's exactly what's happening now. They never thought your absence would matter, because they never understood what your presence provided. They were too busy looking at your outer simplicity, while ignoring the spiritual authority you carried quietly. But now, the weight is undeniable. The balance is gone. The lightness has turned into a dense fog, and they are beginning to realize you weren't just helpful, you were essential. Every place you prayed over, every relationship you tried to protect, every situation you handled with grace, they're now unraveling because the thread holding it all together was you. They're feeling the gaps. They're noticing the cracks. But it's not because you cursed them. It's because you were blessing them in ways they never had the maturity to see.
Facts.
Now the silence is their teacher. Every time they face an obstacle, your absence whispers a lesson. Every chaotic moment is a reflection of the peace you once sustained. You never wanted to be the center of attention. You just wanted to serve. But now the vacancy you left is the loudest voice in the room. They used to say, "It's not that serious." Now it feels deadly serious. They used to mock your discernment. Now they wish they had your clarity. They used to call you too much. But now they're suffocating in a spiritual drought you used to hydrate with your presence. And here's what they still don't realize. Your absence isn't a punishment. It's a revelation. It's God teaching through distance what they refuse to learn through proximity. But let me warn you, chosen one, this is only the beginning of what they're about to feel. Because when heaven removes a vessel, heaven also removes the access that came with it.
Right.
Stay with me, because in the next moment, we will uncover why rejecting a chosen one doesn't just close a door. It shifts the entire spiritual atmosphere into a season of consequence.
We ain't got no dead geezers around here.
Is where the weight becomes inescapable.
Got no dead
When they
geezers around
dishonored
here.
you, they thought they were dismissing a person. But in the
Straight
spiritual
dishonor.
realm, they were
Straight
dismissing a
dishonored
divine
the nigga, you
connection.
heard?
They saw you as just someone trying to help. But heaven saw you as a carrier of solutions they had been praying for. They didn't realize that rejecting you wasn't a personal offense. It was a spiritual misstep, one that heaven would not ignore. You weren't there by accident. You were a sent vessel, an answer wrapped in humility. And when they chose to dishonor what God sent, they activated a law they didn't even know existed.
Right.
The law of consequence, not human revenge, not karma,
Right.
but divine principle.
Straight
Because when you
divine
reject
principle.
what God has sent to bless you,
Right.
you're not closing the door on a person. You're closing the door on a move of God. That's why everything that once flowed with ease started to feel forced. That's why doors that were opening without effort are now sealed shut. It's not about bad luck. It's about dishonor creating a spiritual blockade. Where there was once peace, tension now reigns.
Right.
Where there was once divine alignment, confusion has taken over.
Facts.
Not because you wished them harm, but because your presence was a spiritual covering, and they tore it down with their own hands. They didn't know that mocking your prayers was mocking their own protection. They didn't realize that their disrespect wasn't hitting you.
Right.
It was clashing with heaven.
Right.
And when that dishonor reaches a certain point,
Right.
God steps in. Not with loud warnings, not with thunder from the skies, but with silence.
Facts.
A holy silence that removes grace from environments that refuse to respect his vessels.
Right.
This is not about ego. It's not about being right. It's about spiritual order. And dishonor disrupts divine order in ways the natural mind cannot comprehend. You see, God's chosen are extensions of his hands on earth. Rejecting them is like slapping away the hand that's feeding you. It's not immediate destruction. It's a slow unraveling. A gradual exposure of what happens when the covering is gone. What once was protected becomes vulnerable.
Facts.
What once was blessed becomes barren. And those who once
Straight
felt
barren.
invincible begin to feel the cracks beneath their feet. But here's the part they never saw coming. The consequence is not designed for revenge. It's designed for revelation.
Right.
God allows environments that reject his chosen to experience the void, so that they may see the value they once ignored. But the longer pride holds the reins, the heavier the consequence becomes. They thought they could dishonor quietly, whisper behind your back, dismiss your value with subtle disrespect. But dishonor, no matter how discreet, speaks loud in the spiritual realm.
Facts.
It sends a message to heaven that says, "We don't value what you've sent."
Right. Right.
And heaven responds accordingly.
Right.
The resources dry up, the peace evaporates, the opportunities stall,
Right.
not out of spite, but as a mirror of their own rejection.
They didn't
They broke the
appreciate
bridge,
what God
they
sent
cut the
to 'em,
connection,
y'all.
and now the very source that was sustaining them has been rerouted elsewhere. But here's what they didn't expect.
Ain't that right, baby?
That the blessing they mistreated is now being positioned in places that will honor it. And the contrast of what they lost will become a constant reminder that dishonor is expensive, very expensive. Chosen one, I need you to understand, you were never the cause of their downfall. You were the opportunity they mismanaged. And as they sit in the tension of their own choices, God is writing a new chapter for you. One where your value will no longer be questioned. But before we get there, you need to know the silent power you carried. Because while they looked for noise, you were moving mountains in secret. Stay with me, because in the next moment, I'll show you how you were transforming lives behind the scenes, without them ever realizing it. You never needed a microphone. You never needed a spotlight. Your mission was never about applause. It was about alignment. You were placed there not to entertain them, but to transform them.
Facts.
And you did it in the most powerful way possible, silently. While they sought validation, you sought intercession. While they fought for attention, you fought in the spirit for their peace. They never saw the battles you fought on your knees. They never heard the prayers you whispered when no one was watching. But heaven heard, heaven saw. And because of your obedience, things shifted. You didn't stand on a stage. You stood in the gaps, the cracks they ignored. You sealed them with prayer. The wounds they laughed off. You covered them in spiritual balm. Every place that was breaking, you were quietly holding together. But they never noticed. Because your strength was hidden. Your impact was veiled. That's the mark of the chosen ones. You don't walk into a room to be seen. You walk in, and the atmosphere bends to your presence. even if no one understands why. You shifted energies. You calmed storms before they escalated. You turned chaos into calm with just a word, a glance, or sometimes just by being there. But now that you've stepped away, the dominoes are falling. The conversations that once flowed now feel forced.
Right.
The peace that used to just happen now feels manufactured and fragile. They don't understand why everything feels so off. But you do. You were the invisible shield, the unannounced intercessor, the one who fought battles in silence so others could enjoy peace without ever realizing the cost. You were the reason certain disasters never happened. You were the reason opportunities kept coming their way. Not because you bragged, but because you stood in the spiritual gap for them. But dishonor has a way of unmasking what was hidden. They mocked your discernment. They laughed at your sensitivity. But now they're searching for that something that's missing. And it's your absence that keeps echoing louder and louder. They called you too serious. But now they're drowning in the very chaos you used to absorb silently. They said you overthink. But now they're making reckless decisions with no one left to bring balance. They underestimated you because they never saw what you were carrying. And let me tell you something. The enemy knew. The spiritual realm knew. That's why you were attacked so often. That's why you felt the heaviness, the exhaustion, the unseen resistance. Because while they lived in comfort, you were fighting off storms that had your name written on the victory, and theirs too. But they never knew. Because true servants don't announce their battles, they just win them quietly. And now that you're gone, they're beginning to see that you weren't just there. You were holding the spiritual structure of their lives together. Every chain you broke in silence, every atmosphere you cleaned with your prayers, was a battle they never had to face. But now the air feels heavier. The conversations are strained. The unity is fractured. Because the one who silently held it all together has been removed.
Facts.
And here's the mystery they're struggling to solve. How can someone so quiet, so normal, leave such a massive void? It's because heaven placed you there as a strategic anchor, not for recognition, but for divine preservation. But when dishonor meets divine assignment, God will always protect his vessel. And sometimes, that protection looks like removal. Chosen one, you were never their problem. You were their shield. But now that the shield is gone,
Right.
the impact is direct. And every ripple of your absence is exposing a deeper truth they were never prepared to face. But we're not done. Because in the next moment, you'll understand why humility is the only key left that can reverse what dishonor has destroyed. The question is, will they find it in time? Or will the weight of their pride keep them trapped in a cycle of consequences they never saw coming? There's a key that unlocks every door pride has sealed shut. A force so powerful it can reverse spiritual droughts, mend fractured atmospheres, and restore what dishonor destroyed. But it's not a strategy. It's not a plan. It's humility. The only way to heal what has been broken is to kneel where ego once stood. Humility is not just an apology. It's not a shallow, "I'm sorry" to check a box. True humility is a deep internal surrender. It's the courage to look at what you overlooked, to admit, I was blind, I misjudged, I dishonored what heaven sent me. And that level of honesty is rare, because the world teaches people to fight for their pride, to double down on their opinions, to never admit they were wrong. But heaven doesn't operate in pride. Heaven moves in humility. When they rejected you, it wasn't just you they closed off. It was the flow of God's hand moving through you. And every ounce of blessing that dried up after your absence is now shouting this truth. Pride will always bankrupt what honor was meant to multiply. But the beauty is, restoration is never out of reach. It's one decision away. One moment of humility can unlock what pride has kept in chains for years. Humility is the mirror no one wants to face. It reveals the parts of us that ego has tried to hide. It confronts the illusions. And for those who mistreated you, it will take everything in them to finally see what was hidden in plain sight. They'll need to admit, that quiet presence I dismissed was a divine covering. That soft voice I mocked was a prophetic guide. That person I thought was too much was sent to hold my life together. But here's the catch. Humility will cost them their pride. And not everyone is ready to pay that price. If they choose pride, the wait will continue. The void will deepen. And the ripple effects of dishonor will keep reverberating through their lives. But if humility breaks through, healing rushes in. Because God doesn't withhold restoration out of vengeance. He waits for alignment. He waits for hearts to bow, for eyes to open, for hands to release the grip of arrogance. Once humility steps in, the spiritual blockages begin to dissolve. What felt heavy becomes light. What was stuck begins to flow. Because God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Chosen one, you are not the one who needs to beg for recognition. You were faithful. You did your assignment. But now, it's their turn to make a choice. And that choice will determine whether they continue in drought or step into a season of restoration. But here's what they don't realize yet.
They don't want that.
Humility is not just about fixing the past. It's about unlocking a future they never knew was possible. Because when they finally honor what they once rejected, the heavens respond with multiplication. The peace you carried returns. The blessings that were delayed are released.
Right.
But it all hinges on one act of courage, humility. So, will they bow or will they break? The time for pretending is over. The wait has exposed the truth. Now, only humility can rewrite the outcome. But before we close this chapter, there's one last revelation you must hear, chosen one. Because your absence was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of your divine elevation. Stay with me. Because in this final moment, you'll understand why everything you endured was preparing you for a platform only heaven can give. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. They rejected you. Yes, they underestimated you, ignored you, treated you as if you were replaceable. But heaven never let you go.
2-second replaceable.
What for them was a discard, for God was a promotion. They saw your departure as the end, but your absence is, in reality, the opening of a heavenly stage where your purpose will be honored. What once ignored you will now feel the weight of your mission, and what once pushed you aside will witness how God elevates you in places where your value will not only be seen, it will be celebrated. The void they feel today is not punishment. It's an echo.
Go around here and come
It's
around,
the echo
right?
of the impact your presence left in their lives.
You all right?
They were forced to learn what you had been holding together in silence. But you are being prepared for dimensions where your essence will not be misunderstood, where your light will not be dimmed, where your mission will not be sabotaged. You were not created to fit in.
Right.
You were created to shift atmospheres, to open doors that ordinary people cannot even see. And now, you are about to be positioned on platforms where every word you speak will carry eternal weight. They thought your departure would silence you, but in heaven, your voice never stopped resonating. Remember this, chosen one. You are more than what they saw. You are more than what they understood. You are a vessel, an instrument, a spiritual weapon in God's hands. And the time to hide your light is over.
Right.
This is only the beginning of your unveiling. The world has not yet seen what you carry.
Right.
But very soon, doors will open that only open for those who endured the weight of being misunderstood. That's why I tell you now, lift your head, strengthen your spirit. What God is about to do with you will be impossible to ignore. If this word ignited something within you, write in the comments, I was the blessing they rejected. Declare it, because your testimony will awaken many others who were also dishonored but are about to live their restoration. And before you leave, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share it. Because this is not just your story. It is the story of every chosen one the world didn't know how to value. Get ready. What's coming is your season of recognition. Your mission does not end here. Your assignment is just beginning. And this time, no one will be able to dim your light.
See, now you heard that.
Listen carefully. Deep inside, you've always known. Being loved by you is never ordinary. It is dangerous. Not because you harm, but because your very heart burns with a fire that purifies, exposes, and transforms everything it touches. When someone steps close, they don't just meet you. They step into a sacred battlefield. Your presence awakens hidden truths. For some, it becomes a blessing that heals and lifts them higher. For others, it becomes a fire that scorches their masks and burns away their deceit. That's why people are drawn to you with fascination. Yet so many cannot remain. Loving you is not for the faint of heart. It demands purity, courage, and surrender. And today, I will reveal why your love is both a privilege and a danger, why it blesses the true but consumes the false. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear will shift how you see every connection in your life. And before we begin, do this as a prophetic act. Like this message, subscribe if you haven't yet, and comment 99 below. Why 99? Because it is the number of completion, the sign that God is finishing cycles in your life and protecting your heart from those who were never meant to stay. Chosen one. When someone dares to enter your heart, they are not stepping into a simple connection. They are walking into sacred ground, territory that heaven itself has marked, guarded, and consecrated. Your love is not a casual affection that anyone can play with. It is not a fleeting emotion that drifts with the wind. No, your love is fire. It is divine fire. And that fire is both an embrace and a warning. For the pure, it warms, it heals, it builds. For the impure, it reveals, it consumes, it dismantles everything false. Understand this. To touch your love is to enter a covenant space. People may think they are just entering a relationship with you, but what they don't realize is that they are also entering a spiritual contract. Heaven is watching. Angels are taking record. Every word spoken, every intention carried, every action made toward you is observed from above.
Facts.
And that is why your life is different. Nothing concerning you is just human. Nothing around you is random. Everything is weighed on divine scales. And every person who steps into your life is tested by fire.
Facts.
Those who come with clean hands discover something miraculous. They begin to notice favor opening around them. Doors they could never push open by their own strength suddenly swing wide. Peace floods their spirit. Opportunities chase them. Why? Because being aligned with you is not simply being aligned with a person. It is standing under divine covering. They reap blessings not just because of who they are, but because of who you are and what you carry. You have become a vessel of heaven, and anyone who honors that vessel finds themselves tasting the overflow of its oil. But those who come with hidden motives face a very different reality.
Facts.
They may think they can disguise their intentions with sweet words and empty promises, but the fire that surrounds you is not deceived. It sees beyond appearances. It exposes what is concealed. It reveals the unspoken. And soon, without you lifting a finger, their deception turns against them. Plans collapse. Opportunities vanish. Their own masks begin to suffocate them. They came to play a game with your heart, but in touching what is holy, they walked into a territory where lies cannot breathe. This is why some people entered your life with confidence, believing they could handle your love. But after a while, they grew restless, uncomfortable, even hostile. They could not explain why. But you know why, chosen one. Because your love is not ordinary. It is sacred territory. Their spirit collided with your fire, and what was hidden inside them was forced into the light. Some couldn't bear it. Some ran. Some tried to fight it, but none of them could remain unchanged. You see, to embrace your love is to embrace transformation. And transformation is never easy. It requires truth. It requires humility. It requires surrender. That's why so many can admire you from afar, but cannot stand to walk closely. They sense the cost. They feel the weight. They realize that being close to you means carrying more than affection. It means carrying responsibility. Responsibility before heaven.
A lot of people ain't
responsibility before their own soul. And here lies the mystery.
A lot of people ain't ready for responsibilities, y'all. They rather stay in their little hut and in their little small box, delusional mind, when it comes to reality and responsibilities. They can't stand up to responsibilities, y'all. They can't.
One, your love is both an invitation and a test.
Facts.
It invites the right hearts into deeper blessing, and it tests the motives of everyone who dares to draw near.
Facts.
Some will rise to the challenge and find themselves lifted higher. Others will stumble, exposed by the very light they thought they could manipulate. So never mistake people's exits as a rejection of your worth. Often, it is proof of your sacredness.
Right.
The ground of your heart is not for the careless. The fire of your love is not for the insincere.
Facts.
And the more you accept this truth, the less you will mourn those who could not remain. Because in reality, they were never strong enough to walk on holy ground. And now, as we move forward, I must reveal something deeper. What happens when this fire of protection doesn't just test intentions, but actively defends you in ways most people cannot comprehend? Stay with me, because the next revelation will show you why no one can touch you without consequences. Chosen one, since your earliest days, you've carried a mystery around you that even you could not fully explain. Some people were instantly drawn to you, pulled in by a force they could not resist. They wanted to sit near you, to speak with you, to be close to you, without even understanding why. And at the same time, others who barely knew you seemed unsettled, uneasy, almost afraid, choosing to step back or even distance themselves without reason. You thought it was just human behavior, but it wasn't. It was something spiritual. There is a magnet inside you, not of the flesh, but of the spirit. Your soul radiates a frequency that only certain hearts can bear.
Facts.
To those who are genuine, who walk in truth, who carry sincerity, your presence feels like home. It feels like rest in a restless world. They can breathe when they are around you. They feel clarity, peace, and even healing just by being near. That is why people with pure hearts feel safe in your energy. They sense something beyond human words. They sense the hand of God resting on you. But for those who live in lies,
Right.
who wear masks, who try to hide behind shadows, being near you is unbearable. It is like standing under a spotlight when all they want is darkness.
Right, right.
They feel exposed without you saying a word. Their secrets rise to the surface, their hidden motives itch inside them, and their own soul becomes restless. Your love acts as a mirror. It reflects purity to the pure, but to the deceitful. It reflects back every hidden flaw they tried to bury. And when that happens, they cannot survive the intensity. That's why you've seen strange patterns in your relationships and friendships. Some people entered your life with admiration, full of excitement, almost addicted to the peace they felt around you. But soon, something shifted. They became irritated, defensive, or distant. They began to accuse you of things you never did.
Facts.
Or withdraw without explanation.
Facts, y'all. This
And
is
you
all
wondered,
facts, y'all.
what changed? The truth is, nothing changed in you. What changed was that your presence began to reveal them to themselves. And not everyone can handle that. You see, chosen one, your spirit does not let people stay neutral. When someone steps close to you, they are forced into a choice, grow or go. Some rise to the challenge.
Right.
They face their hidden wounds. They confront their shadows. They allow your light to inspire their own transformation. But others run.
Right.
They cannot handle the
Niggas
fire
run like
of
a
honesty.
motherfucker.
They cannot handle the way your love strips away illusions. They cannot handle the weight of standing next to someone who carries heaven's authority. This is why you are both deeply desired and deeply feared. People crave your presence because
Hear
it
that, loved one?
awakens something inside them that feels alive. But at the same time, it terrifies them because it also awakens what they've been trying to bury. And not everyone is willing to face that. To love you is to face themselves. To stay close to you is to confront truth. And truth is beautiful, but truth is also uncomfortable. Think about it. How many times have people come into your life with boldness, swearing loyalty, only to disappear when the weight of your authenticity began to touch their soul?
Facts.
How many promised forever, but could not handle even a season? It wasn't because you were too much. It was because they were too little for the fire you carry.
Right.
Your presence demands depth,
Little
and
brains.
shallow hearts cannot survive depth for long.
Delusional
And here is
minds.
the paradox. Chosen one. People who leave your life often think they are running from you, but they are really running from themselves.
Facts.
They are running from the mirror you held up without even trying.
Facts.
Revealed who they truly were, and they could not bear to see it. That is why you must never confuse departures with rejection.
Right.
Often, departures are proof of your authenticity. They are confirmations that your light is doing exactly what it was meant to do,
Facts.
separating truth from deception.
But we gonna end it here, y'all. I'm gonna wrap the video up. I wanted to get out because we supposed to get some snow and some heavy snow and shit. Don't y'all hurt y'all backs shoveling that heavy snow. You know what I mean? But until the next time, peoples, step into the light. Step into the light. It's the only way that's gonna save you. Peace.